Oh, welcome to Middle England. This is Warwickshire. We're building a replica of our big mast here, which is 62 feet, 19 metres on a 4-guy system, like a square. A square is a lot easier to manoeuvre when you're using something called a falling derrick to lift the thing up and down. We have a 3-guy system here for a smaller mast, which we're going to put a 15-metre Yagi on for 21 megahertz. We're actually going to interleave that with 6 meters as well. But it's a 3-guy system. The concrete's gone off. See the last video for that. And how are we going to get them down? 20 years ago, I could have probably just pushed this thing up, but I'm a bit older now. So we've got a 12-volt winch down at the bottom of the field. What we're going to do is going to bring a line up to a tree here, around a pulley, and back down, and we're going to lift this thing up. Do we use a pulley down here? Do we use a falling derrick? That's what we're going to work out today and see if we can get this operational. So stick around, let's have some fun. Okay, phase 2 of the second mast. We have a ton of toys, which I've just brought out here. I will show you. Right, we've got a couple of thrust bearings from Yaesu. I bought these ages ago. But I actually thought I might need them on Tower 1. One of the reasons I was loath to put another thrust bearing on, because I knew I wanted 2 here, and they're like 60 or 70 pounds each. So we got a pair of these. On the last video I explained that I wanted to put this little T-piece thing, so we could have a falling derrick if we wanted to. I'll put that on anyway, whether we use one or not. I found a really old pulley which I think we should disassemble and re-grease. This is for the end of the falling derrick if we use one, because the rope can go through there and that can fall away. And I got a pack of 10mm lifting eyes, which was actually a better price than buying 3. But where do we put the lifting eyes? We have also got the laser leveler thing. All right, I've just tested it. I can just see the laser leveler and no more in the sunshine, if you know what I mean. If I could sort of put my hand in the shadow. So let's see if we can laser level, at least, because it'd be nice to get all these at the same height. You can't see me, I'm just getting a Sharpie out. All right, one Sharpie, laser leveler, see how we get on. So I'm thinking, put it on, put it there, and I did over here. It's pointless me showing you, but in the shadow I could just see. Oh, and I've lost it. Oh, I found it. My God, it's there. It's not vitally important we have these at the right height, you know, because it's not a traditional falling derrick. I'll never see it here. It's easy to do this in twilight. There it is. Way there. And we got the 3rd one, which should be a bit easier because this is actually in the in shadow. So I might need to lift everything up. There it is. Okay, I bought this to do the well, I've always fancied a laser leveler, but I bought it originally to find the exact holes for the guide points for the main mast, because they needed all to be exactly the same, you know. So now let's review. Do we really want? That's quite low. That I might want to come up a bit. Let's say we came up that high. That's quite a nice height because the lawnmower will still get under it. See what that would look like over here. Of course, the higher up you put these things, the more pressure you've got. That would be there. It's funny, isn't it? You wouldn't have thought the ground rises that much. Yeah, it's quite high. I like that height, you see. Well, if we do that, then that'll have to be there. All right, we'll go midway. We'll go up half one of these. That's what we'll do. So I've got my tape measure. About there now. I've got to find, I'm just looking at behind me, well, behind you actually, to find the exact There. Right, so target. Because the higher up we go, the more pressure. The microphone is too close to it. The higher up we go, the more pressure would be applied to the mast. So I might even review this. You know, I think I put 1.5 concretes in there, and that's quite a deep one. Where is it? The north guy. Good. Alright, time to drill. Oh, and I forgot to bring my blooming drill out. Okay, let's go and get the drill. We've got... That I know is quite sharp to start the thing off. This might be quite good, I just don't know. I think I've used that before and it was crap actually. But this goes up to 12mm and these are 10. In fact, that's quite a nice fit. So, hell, we'll just do these two and a little bit of oil. Alright. I think a new drill bit actually to be handy. And I haven't got a... What did we call it? I haven't got my punch with me. Let me just check where that hole is relative to... Yeah, it's in the right place. It doesn't really matter if it's off by a couple of degrees, but anyway. Did I say this one was sharp? Because it's not. Maybe we'll go straight to the step drill. I just don't know how good the end of this step drill is. Yeah, it might be really good, I don't know. That one's even worse. No. We might have to go in. See if this is any better. It just shouldn't be this much effort, you know what I mean? We've got 3 of these to do, sod it. Go to the workshop, find a drill. Small, big, it doesn't matter. I just want to get the hole through and then the step drill will take over. Right, all these have been previously used on only aluminium. We know that's bad, so we'll put it there. 2 schools of thought, right? You can buy, you know, you can sharpen drill bits. That's a bit better. But I buy packs of 10. They're German, but they're not that expensive. It just saves me, because if I did have a drill sharpening tool, well, you know what would happen, I'd lose it. Okay. Now, could we go up to this one maybe? Or was that not? Oh, no, we can't do that. Now I'm going to have to take that out. So there's 2 ways of taking out a broken drill bit. And that way seemed to work fine. Right, step drill. It's not still in there, is it? No. Maybe this step drill's really crappy. I don't know. That is shit. We had a better one, didn't we? Unless I've taken it in. Because only recently I used it. Alright, let me get another step drill, one that actually works. Here's a bit of fun for you. That is a regular step drill. We used that one on the aluminium the other day. I have a bigger one here, but I just saw this. I thought I've got to show you. This is the biggest step drill on the planet. It goes up to 60mm, which is over what, 2.5 inches. You can't really use that on steel. That's the only thing. It's just you need so much torque, you know, up here for the thing to work. Pointless. I just brought it out for fun. I'm going to use this small one. See if this works. The big one starts at 10mm, which is what I'm after, and it might be super sharp. So we'll look at that as well. Well, you know, if you don't try, you never know, will you? Slow going. Maybe for alloy, something like that. So this is the one we used. The other day, but on aluminium, okay? That's all right. What are we up to? 10 is there. All right, a little bit more. Are we all the way through? Yes, we are. Let me just see. It might have to go up one more, but we'll just, you know, grab one, see if it fits. We could possibly wind it in, if you know what I mean, with a spanner. Cut its own thread, sort of thing. Just thought, actually, yeah, it goes in. I just thought, we've got to get through here. That's fine. I just remembered we've got to get out the other side as well. Jeez. Okay, well, we'll have to... Best way of doing that, I reckon. We'll do it this way. We'll come through. Yeah, get the baby one right through. So up a bit and down. Good. I don't know whether to cut these off or leave them. I left the other ones just for, in case we needed to, because you can buy a lifting eye, you know, threaded lifting eye without the bar, you know, for a secondary job. I don't know. All right. Up or side, probably like that. That'd be perfect. Okay. Right, let's tighten up the lifting eye, see what technique we need. We'll put one at the back, one at the front. Fine. Alright, I think we should fit this T-piece thing under the rotator. This is for like a temporary falling derrick thing. This looks like a DIY solution because I've used stainless nuts and bolts here, not the stuff that came with it. Right, now it should be free. Okay. I also noticed, I remember what this nut was for. It was the grounding lug on the main tower, which we've replaced with fiberglass. Oh yes, I've put silicone or something on here. Stop it rusting. No, there's no rust, so that worked. Right, put this on now. Does it matter where it goes right now? No idea. We'll just tighten it up anyway. I've lost my Allen keys. I remember having them a minute ago. So this is just to stop it rattling around. I can always move it another day. Fine. We'll just put it at the base. We might never need this, but let's get it on now. I'll never get it on. So this is a G450 rotator. Now, interesting enough, I don't know how long ago, but a couple of years ago, Yaesu changed from AC to DC. I don't know why, but I tell you, it doesn't half make it bloody easy, because if you think about it, You only need pins 4 and 5 on the controller, or on the pin, and you could just fire 24 volts at it, and depending on the polarity it would either go left or right. Now I'm sure you could do this with AC as well, but it makes homebrew DC solutions for rotators quite easy. All you need is a little magnetic sensor and a couple of relays, and you've got a baby Rotator Genius solution. You know, it'd be really cool. I watched a guy on YouTube who bought a Rotator, not the whole Rotator Genius, he just bought the sensor and the software. I don't know how that works though. I thought, oh, that would be good for, I don't know, $90 or $100, whatever it is. I could do the same, and with a third rotator, so I don't need another Rotator Genius, because they're, you know, $600-700 a piece. I don't mind it for the master station, you know. Anyway, I've just finished doing these up, and then we'll sight it, if you know what I mean. Not too tight, just enough. I think these were too long, so I put this underneath. It's not actually a locking nut, it was just so I didn't break through the casting, if you know what I mean. That's all I've done that for, I think. In fact, I'm pretty certain. Trouble with Yaesu rotators, I mean, look at the state of these bolts. They've only been out for, well, just this winter, and they're starting to go. So then you need to get, I don't know, wax oil. What is a good protection oil to use? Because I'm looking for something, because these are going as well. And it's kind of tragic, really. Just a little bit of extra plating. Now, these are outside, aren't they? So we can do this up properly now. You don't want this twisting around either. And I just put a little sleeve here. It would just make me feel better. Just a bit of aluminium tube I had. And I just cut it open and slid it over. But I know it's a hell of a fit. I might have dropped some glue on it, I can't remember. Right, and then actually we can do this, can't we? Might as well point it in the same direction as the hinge. The idea being, we could put like a man-size, maybe 8 feet long pole here when it's down, and then over the top of that, so when the winch pulls, it's pulling from here, and then it would just fall away. And that's kind of my little solution. I like coming up with little ideas. Oh, I'm just thinking now, what's next? And we could put a couple of poles in the top of this, but then we're not going to be able to get it up, so maybe we ought to look at the pulley. So this is quite old. It's got a split pin each side with pin going through the middle. I don't think there's any particular bearing inside it, but we will need something to help us. Well, obviously I've never needed needle nose pliers out here. I wonder how tough this metal is. Oh, okay, I can normally work my way around most problems. I feel like a puppy trying to work out, you know, how to eat his first bone. Vice. Alright, so something flat. She's coming out. A little piece of aluminium here. Can we tap it a bit further with this? It's blooming wedged in, that's for sure. Okay, don't lose that. Cheap screwdriver. Oh, and the wheels come out. Ah, it's fine. Oh, there is a bearing. No. Alright, so it's maintenance free, but we need to clean this up, re-grease it and put it back in. We should be able to do that outside because I've got my silicone grease there. I've got a bit of a rag here. I don't want to put it back in now because it'd be nice to blimey, what rotates? Hopefully not that. Ah, once it's past the hole, it works. Okay, very nice fit, but we will need some silicone grease, I think, on that. I don't know if it's the right stuff, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Put some on the pin. I want to put some that side for some reason, and then drag it through. Or that's plenty. That is plenty. What about some on the outside of this as well? I'm probably overcooking this, but anyway. Right, pin out. I'm getting it all over my blooming hands. Pin in, and then we're going to find a way. I'll probably find out I need to be inside to do this. Oh no, it's going in. Oh, fine. Wash my hands, which we'll do in this special grease washing up place. Okay, in. Screwdriver. There we go. Lovely. All right. Now, next job. I've got some black rope, the 8mm poly rope. Everything is temporary, right? Until it's permanent. Let me get that over the tree. It would be better, honestly, to put a single line with the pulley very close to the tree. Otherwise, you've got this pulley extended out a little bit and it can woggle around and it won't be very good, to be honest. But if the pulley is any good, and that's why I've reconditioned it as best I can, then we should be all right. I might need the little throwing mug again, since this might be permanent. Let's just melt all this together. I'm just going to tie this onto the mug. We'll drop this mug over the tree. Somehow. We can re-engineer this at any time. It's not that important at the moment. I thought this tree is well solid enough. Yeah, it is. Okay, so how are we going to do this then? Now, as you probably know, I've gone and lost the rope. As you probably know, all knots reduce the potential of strength. There we go. I'll start again. All knots reduce the strength of a rope by around 50%. So the trick is use a reasonable knot, not like a granny knot. I think this is called a fisherman's knot, but anyway, come around here. I'm going to go around and tie a regular overhand knot there. You probably can't see what I'm doing. And then the same the other side. Now you'll see what happens in the end. You end up with this knot, which I've used all over the place in the past, if I've done it right. Normally, if you've done a knot right, you can look at it and go, oh yeah, that's right. That's fine. You can do a double overhand. This is the sort of knot you would use to tie your bed sheets together to escape from prison. There we go. So this is what I'm thinking. We will, when we want to use this, we take this out and put it in there. Or we could hang it up, I suppose, because we don't need a hook, remember. But I don't want to do that in case it gets jumbled. So the hook is kind of redundant in our case. In fact, last night I was thinking of using the hook, but if you get a sudden jolt or whatever, it's not very safe, is it? We could use that hook for something else or whatever. And we'll take our rope around the pulley to that mast. So the idea being, we'll cut this somewhere. The rope will come from the tree to here and down, and then it should be easier to pull it up, and then this will fall away. But it doesn't want to be too heavy or too light. All right, don't breathe. You don't want to breathe in fiberglass dust here. So I was just breathing out the whole time. I've got a few of these I bought for another project, and it's just handy. All right, so now we have a little contraption I want to put on the end of this. Let's fit this. Now we also might need to guy this mini falling derrick. The idea behind this is that the rope can come up through here, attached to the mast, you know what I mean, so it will just fall away. I'd be interested in how much force you can apply on this before it cracks. Quite a lot. Don't know whether I should tighten this up every time I use it, or just leave it loose. I'll tighten it for the time being anyway. We can do a little test. Oh yeah, that's feels really solid. Other than the fact that the hinge is a bit wobbly, so we need to tighten that up. Which means 2 adjustables. So we're going to tighten this up so that there's very little give. Okay, there's a little bit of wobble, but not much. This is smaller than I thought it had to be, but I honestly think that's fine, because when that's right down, which would be about there, yeah. So we're not pulling on this, we're just using this to stop the rope from coming too low, because it'll just fall away. All right, next job. All right, if you really want to know what I'm thinking, you know, that little fiberglass piece, we could use that as the extension on a temporary basis. Do you know what I'm thinking of doing? Literally assembling the whole thing on the floor now. So let's do that. We've got the thrust bearings. We need to go in and get the electric screwdriver thing for doing these up, and put a aluminium on the top. All right, let's make a bit of progress. Will that fit on without me undoing it? Oh yeah. It's slightly bent. I might get a block of wood just for the... It's just handy having your scrap knocking around, isn't it? Not perfect, but straight enough for government work, as they say. So you get a bit of bow, all right, when it's down, because you've got the weight of itself, you know. So you might be wondering where I'm putting these thrust bearings. So, well, good question. I did think about this before, you know. Some people might have put it down here, but I'm actually putting one just above the join, okay, and then one fairly near the top, bearing in mind we need to cut that top off at some point in time. Okay, so to assemble these thrust bearings, you get some, these are kind of shackle points, so we need to fit them to the bottom here with the, you get some spring washers and stuff, so I'll fit them and get back to you. So I think these are torqued up now. I'm just doing the last tiny bit. It takes you a while to do these. The quality of these thrust bearings, certainly on the outside, seems to be better than the rotators. You know, everything's galvanised nicely. It's obviously a different factory, isn't it? The sun's probably in your eyes, but what I've got to do now is balance, you know, one side and the other. because I don't really want this offset, you know, so I just spend a bit of time making sure it's kind of looks about right. Right, this is failure mode, so do it up nicely. At least we've got experience with these, and they will hold, you know, which is quite good. Alright, I'm going to put the other one on about a metre down from the top, roughly, and I'll get back to you. Alright, these are all torqued down. By the way, you can tell if it's a little bit off-centred just by looking up its bottom, if you know what I mean. If it all looks equal, then that's fine. So we've got top and bottom on. And I'm now going to show you a different little pulley, how I think we should pull this thing up. So, I can't remember what the spec is of this. 500 kg, so half a ton. Whoa. But I kind of like the look of it, if you know what I mean. Alright, now, assuming we do it this way, we'll have to leave this on permanently. Let me just put a couple of shackles here. Remind me to do them up. Then we got some rope. Bear with me. Right, I've got my rope. Now I'm going to go around the pulley. I've attached it to the top. And now I'm going to attach it here. I might be good at knots, but I can only do them one way reliably. You know, not a mirror image. I probably can, but I don't like doing it that way. I just know that my way works. So here is our pulley, which comes to, hang on, put you over the camera. Good. Now we go over the top of the pole here, look. Right, I've got some of this 6mm black rope, which we'll do as a test. I don't know if it's going to work, you know, I mean, there might be a little unforeseen bit of engineering, you know, that I just haven't thought about. Like, you know, does this move too much? Whatever, I don't know. Okay. I don't think this is going to snap. Well, it might do, I don't know yet. So in the last video I said I was not going to use the hook. I thought, hey, why not? It's under tension, it's not going to go anywhere, is it? I'm going to go down the field. Oh, bugger me. It's a hell of a stretch to this, never mind. I mean, it's really stretchy. Oh well. What can go wrong? Well, what can go wrong if you think about it? It'll just fall down. It's not going to hurt anybody. I'll have to upgrade this rope. It's all I've got lying around. As a test, you know. I don't know how much we should take out. Good, I've put it in the right place then, so far. Concept, eh? This is a concept. Okay, I've got the remote controller on. It's not going to work because that free spool's out. It's not working. Okay, but this is going to stretch like mad, isn't it? Let's see what's going on. Lots of stretch. We better get out of the way of the twanging in case it goes snap. But let's just review what we've got here. So, okay. So I'm learning. I didn't know that was going to end up there, which now, silly me, I should have worked that one out. We're at an odd angle. Do you know what I mean? So in fact, we need to move that pulley right up to near the branch. And we'll just see what happens when we put a little bit more tension on it. There's the pulley. Ah, well, that's not going to do anything. The bloody pulley's not on, look, properly. Ah, relax. Okay. Okay, so for the first time, that just went round by one. I should stop really and fix this 5-degree angle business. Well, we need to hoist it and tie it off, but we need to get to where the design was, which was always here. It's a test. See what happens. So we need to keep our eye on a few things here. We might need to put some proper blooming rope on that. Okay, so that's going to come under a lot of tension. We'd better review that. I'm fairly convinced I need to rethink quite a lot. I've hit this. I actually don't like my knots, but anyway. Right, I've discovered the next problem. Get a bit of tension going. Right, my knot is starting to give way. See it? But anyway, here we go. Here we go. Right. I can now investigate. Oh, you missed that. That's okay. Fascinating. I'm loving how I'm understanding this geometry. Let me take this pressure off. Here's what I actually think my little issue is that this baby falling derrick, I'm not joking, it's just not tall enough because it almost does next to nothing. I think we need full 6 meters. And then what we can do is, it would work then, but we can't use the rope, it's so stretchy. We need a cleat on the tree and a few other things. All right, let's do this properly. So change of plan, forget the tree. We'll put a full-size falling derrick in, exactly like the big tower. We'll put 2 temporary guys, we'll have permanent guy anchors, tiny things, heavy but tiny, so that both the upper and the middle guy lines can be attached to make it look like a pseudo 4-guy system. We pull the thing up as normal, we've got all the experience of the big tower. Up she comes, we connect the 3 guy points, fiddle around for a minute, then disconnect what I'm going to rename the orphan guys. These are the ones that come down to effectively temporary guy, and they don't need to be thick rope because shouldn't be much weight, it's just to stop the thing wibbly wobbling, right? So I'm thinking like a 3mm mast strand, something like that. And then we take these to the other guy points, bit of bungee cord or something, and just clip them out of the way. They should be doing no other work other than the ability to put it up and down. We have a 6-meter guy point, and that will come down, and the further away you can put effectively your winch, the less stress there is on the falling derrick. So the falling derrick is over there, which is roughly somewhere between 15 and 20 meters to what I've just put in. We will put a massive blooming great hook there, we'll put a lovely pulley, so we'll pull down there, through the pulley, back down to the winch. And we won't use 6mm blue rope, we'll use something like an 8mm polyester rope, a lot less stretch, and we'll have a professional system. Instead of all this business of me cutting corners all over the place, thinking I'll just sling this up. You can't sling 2 scaffold poles up in the air, right? And I kind of knew we couldn't, but Well, I had to try it anyway. And we would have got there had I put the side guys on, but it would have been forever precarious. Doing it properly and once is the best way. All right, so next week we'll finish this job and we'll get 40 foot up in the air. So please join me and see how we get on for phase, whatever it is, 3 or something. All right, enjoy your radio, have a good weekend and all that stuff, and bye for now.